everyone, I just finished my workout for today. Today's workout is split up into two parts. Part 1 is 10 minutes and part 2 is 10 minutes. Part 1 is going to be 10 minutes of strength training. Part 2 is going to be 10 minutes of moderate paced cardio. This is the exact same format as yesterday's workout. So if you saw the last workout video I posted, you know exactly what's coming up. If you didn't see that, don't worry, I'm going to explain it very quickly before we get started. I am using today one set of dumbbells. My dumbbells weigh 10 pounds a piece. That's a good weight for me. You may need something lighter or heavier. That depends on your strength and on your level of fitness, what you have available to you, and how hard you're looking to push yourself. So please make the decision that is best for you. Another thing about the dumbbells is that I will say I own 2 sets of dumbbells. That's it. I have a heavier set and a lighter set. So this is my heavier set, 10 pounds a piece. My lighter set is 5 pounds a piece. So if you have more than one set of dumbbells, it might be a good idea to start with a heavier set, but have your lighter set of dumbbells on standby so that as the workout progresses, if the weight you started with becomes too heavy, you can always drop it and switch to a lighter weight. So if you have the luxury of multiple sets of dumbbells, I would say maybe it's not a bad idea to have them, to have your lighter set on standby. The other thing I will say is that there are 3 exercises plus jump rope, but 3 exercises with the dumbbells. For 2 of those exercises, it is fine if your dumbbells are around here. But for the 3rd exercise, we are going to be doing a push-up on the dumbbell, and so the dumbbell needs to hold your entire body weight while you're doing your push-up. So I do not recommend using rounded dumbbells for that. My dumbbells are shaped like a hexagon, meaning they are flat on the bottom. So unless your dumbbells are flat on the bottom, I do not recommend using them for the 3rd exercise, and you'll see when we get there. So let me go ahead and show you our 3 exercises with the dumbbells, and then I will explain the format and we can go ahead and get started. The first exercise is a 1-leg deadlift with a row. So I'm going to start, this is going to be my standing leg. So on that side, the same side as my standing leg, I'm going to hold just 1 dumbbell. I'm going to actively press the heel of the foot on my standing leg, actively press that into the ground, making sure my shoulders are back and down. So back meaning that you want to kind of feel like you're pinching your shoulder blades together, and down meaning not up here, but away from the ears, so back and down. That's going to help you keep your chest lifted high. So this foot is actively pressing into the ground and the knee is soft. There's a slight bend to the knee. I'm going to lift the other foot. Shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. My core is going to stay nice and tight and strong and engaged the whole time. I'm going to hinge at the hips. So push your booty back, keeping the weight in the heel of that standing foot, hinging at the hips with your chest lifted high and a nice straight, flat back. You're going to hinge at the hips and come forward. I'm keeping my free hand on my back like this just so it's out of the way. Okay, so hinging at the hips, you're gonna come forward, extending that leg behind you, your free leg, and letting the weight drop to the side in front of your foot. And now from here, you're going to roll the weight. So bending the elbow and lifting the weight up to towards your shoulder on that same side as your standing leg. And then lower the weight back down, controlling the movement. Don't just let the weight drop, but control the movement on the way up, control the movement on the way down. And now pressing that foot into the ground, hinging at the hips, you're gonna reverse the movement and stand. If you're able to, you wanna keep this foot off the ground the whole time. We're gonna stay on the same leg for the entire work interval. So then straight into your next rep, hinging forward at the hips, or at the, what is that? Yeah, at the hips. Roll the weight, and reverse the movement, coming back to your starting position. If you don't have a dumbbell, a kettlebell would also work great for that exercise. Any type of weight will work. So you can always use a household item like a water bottle or a can of soup, a jug of laundry detergent, okay? As long as it's an appropriate weight for you and you can hold it in one hand and do that exercise, then household items will work fine. A kettlebell would work great. So use what's available to you. The next exercise is going to be a weighted sit-up. So again, I'm just using one dumbbell. And you want to make sure that the dumbbell is in the same hand that you were holding it for your first exercise. So for the first exercise, I had my dumbbell in this hand. This was my standing leg, and we were doing our one leg deadlift and row. So now I'm keeping my dumbbell in that same hand. I'm gonna come down to the mat, and I'm gonna start with my dumbbell up by my shoulder on the same side. I'm gonna sit up, and on my way up, I'm going to press the dumbbell up overhead like this, and then reverse the movement. So bringing the weight back down to the shoulder, and then coming back down onto the mat, returning to your starting position. Again, we're going to stay on the same side for the entire work interval. So sit up, press the weight up overhead, reverse the movement. Sit up, press the weight up overhead, control the movement, bringing the weight back down to the shoulder, and control the movement as you return to your starting position. Again, a kettlebell will work there, as well a water bottle or a can of soup. Just make sure that you have a good grip on whatever you're holding. I typically wear gloves while I work out because if my hands become sweaty, it's going to be more likely that I might lose my grip on the dumbbell. And the last thing I want to do, the last thing I want any of you doing is losing a grip of your dumbbell while you have it right up over your face. We do not want anyone dropping a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a can of soup or a water bottle on their face. So please make sure that whatever type of weight you are holding, you are capable of maintaining a solid grip on that weight for the entire 2-minute work interval. That's a long work interval. Be mindful. I just don't want anyone dropping anything on their face. So again, it is a good idea to have a lighter set of dumbbells if you have access to a lighter set, so that if you get halfway through the work interval and the weight you're using becomes too heavy, you can drop it. If you don't have a lighter set, you can always drop the weight altogether and just do any sit-up variation, okay? So you can just do regular sit-ups, okay? If you feel like you do not have 100% confidence that you're going to be able to maintain a secure grip on your weight and not to drop it on your face, okay? I just want everybody to be safe. So remember, you can drop the heavier weight and go to a lighter weight, or you can drop the weight altogether if you need to. Please be safe and make the decision that is best for you. The third and final exercise is espressos. If you follow my workouts regularly, you know what an espresso is. But if this is the first one of my workouts that you're watching, you might not know. So let me tell you what an espresso is. So again, I have my set of 10-pound dumbbells. You may need something lighter or heavier. Please make the decision that is best for you. And this is where you need to make sure that your dumbbells are flat on the bottom. So I'm going to start standing here in a neutral position. I'm going to bend down and put the dumbbells on the ground in front of me. From here, I'm going to jump my feet back so that I'm in a plank position, holding on to the dumbbells. So you can see that if your dumbbells are not flat on the bottom, here's where they might roll around on you and you can get hurt. We don't want that. So on your flat dumbbells, we're gonna do a push-up while holding on to the dumbbells. And now we're going to do 2 rows, one on each side. So row the dumbbell, row the dumbbell. Just bending the elbow and lifting the weight up to towards your shoulder on that same side. Now I'm gonna jump my feet back in and stand. Bringing the weights to my side again. Now I'm going to do a hammer curl. So not a bicep curl where we would rotate so that the wrists so that they're facing forward. We're not doing that. You're going to keep your arms at your side with your wrists facing the outside of your legs. And we're going to do a hammer curl. So from this position, you're going to bend your elbows and curl the weights up to your shoulders so that now my palms are facing my ears. And from this position, we're going to do an overhead press. So again, we're not rotating the wrists so that they're facing forward. You're keeping the dumbbells in this position so that your palms are facing your ears and pressing them up overhead. Now bring the weights back down, controlling the movement as always. And now straightening the elbows and lowering the weights back down to your side, returning to your starting position. That is an espresso. So let's put it together so you can see what it looks like a little faster. So bend down, put the weights down in front of you, jump the feet into plank, push up on the dumbbells, row, row, jump the feet back in, stand. Hammer curl, overhead press, return to the starting position. If the only set of dumbbells you have are round, again, they're fine for the first two exercises. If that's all you have and you want to use them for the espressos, I would recommend doing the first part of the espresso without any added weight. So I have my dumbbells on the ground and I'm going to just put my palms on the ground, jump my feet back, and do my push-up with my hands on the ground. Any push-up variation you want to do, okay? There's nothing to row, so I'm just gonna do my push-up. And then, yeah, I guess you could row. You could leave one hand on the ground and row this dumbbell, and then row this dumbbell if you want. Or you could just do some other type of push-up variation, that's fine. Jump the feet in, and then grab your dumbbells and stand. Do your hammer curl and your overhead press. Return to the starting position and then put the weights down, palms on the ground. Jump the feet back, push up. And then if you want, row this dumbbell, switch hands, row this dumbbell, both hands flat on the floor again, jump the feet in, stand, hammer curl, overhead press. Okay, so if your dumbbells are not flat on the bottom, that can be your modification for the espressos. And if you're using a household item for your weight, like water bottles or cans of soup, you can use that same modification. If you need an equipment-free modification, then you can just do any burpee variation, that's fine. I already showed you an equipment-free modification for the sit-ups. You just do regular sit-ups. Any ab exercise you want to do is fine. If you need an equipment-free modification for the deadlifts, obviously you'll just eliminate the row because if you're not holding on to anything, there's nothing to row. So you can just do one-leg deadlifts. Okay, and you can do a deadlift without any added weight. So it's going to be the same principle, shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, nice, strong, tight, engaged core. Keeping your back straight, pushing that booty back, keeping the weight in the heels. Press the foot of this standing leg into the ground. Lift the other foot behind you and hinging at the hips. Extend that free leg behind you. And you can just come down and touch the ground if your range of motion allows you to do that. And then reverse the movement. So pressing this heel into the ground, hinging at the hips, and just reverse the movement, coming back to your starting position. And if you're able, keep this foot off the ground, staying on the same leg for the entire work interval. So that is a one-leg deadlift without any added weight. And that is your equipment-free modification for exercise number 1. If you are a beginner or you struggle with your balance, you can hold on to the wall or a chair next to you if you need support. If you are a beginner and you need to see a beginner modification for burpees, I promise you can do a burpee even if you're a beginner. So I'm not going to go through the beginner modifications for everything, but if you need to see that, please ask. I am more than happy to show that to you, but I want to go ahead and get into the workout. So let's just quickly go over the format. Part one. I had my interval timer set for just one interval. It's a 2-minute work interval and we're setting it for 5 rounds. So 2 minutes times 5 rounds equals 10 minutes. There's no rest interval. So you are going to do each exercise for 2 minutes and then you're going to move immediately on to the next exercise. We will be starting with 1-leg deadlifts. So you are going to stay on the same leg and holding your weight in the same hand for the entire 2-minute work interval. As soon as the timer beeps, there's no rest interval. You're going to get right into your weighted sit-ups with an overhead press, keeping the dumbbell or kettlebell or can of soup in the same hand. With interval number 3, we will move on to espressos. And then we're going to start working our way backwards. So you're going to switch the dumbbell to the opposite hand. And then after your espressos, you're going to go back to sit-ups, holding the dumbbell now in the other hand, doing your weighted sit-up and overhead press, staying on that side for the entire 2-minute work interval, and then you will finish off the 10 minutes with one final 2-minute work interval of 1-leg deadlifts, making sure that you are on the other leg. So you will hold your dumbbell in this hand, same side as your standing leg, and you will finish with your 1-leg deadlifts on the opposite leg. After you've watched me do it and you read the description box, if anything is unclear and if you have questions, please just ask. I'm always more than happy to answer your questions and to clarify anything that I did not explain sufficiently in the video in the description box. So that's our first 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes is just 10 minutes of moderate paced cardio. So I had my timer set for 10-second rest intervals and 50-second work intervals, and I was jumping rope. If you don't have a jump rope, there are several options. It's just 10 minutes of cardio. So however you want to get 10 minutes of cardio done is fine. So if you don't have a jump rope, I always just kind of jog in place while I jump rope. So if you don't have a jump rope, you can just kind of jog in place with me and pretend that you're jumping rope without actually jumping over anything. If you're really good at jump rope, you can do jump rope jacks, high knees, you can jump side to side, do twist jumps, any jump rope variation is fine. If you don't want to jump rope and you don't want to pretend to jump rope, there are several more options. You can write yourself a little circuit of, let's say, 5 different cardio exercises. There are a ton of different cardio exercises that you can do. You can do the same exercise for the entire 10 minutes, or you can write yourself a little circuit and mix it up if you want to be on intervals with me. And you don't have to be on the intervals I'm on either. So if 50-second work intervals are too long for you, you can try 15 seconds rest and 45 seconds of work. You can try 10 seconds of rest and 20 seconds of work times 20 rounds to get your 10 minutes. If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, you can always just hop on one of those for 10 minutes. If you live in an apartment complex, you can go up and down the stairs for 10 minutes. You can jog around the block for 10 minutes, a mile, 2 miles, depending on how fast you run. If there is a park close to you with a track, you can take this workout to the park and run a couple of miles. If you have access to your local high school track, you can jog a few times around the track, again, a mile or 2, depending on how fast you run. If you have a swimming pool or access to one, you can swim for 10 minutes, okay? It's 10 minutes of cardio. Any way you want to do your cardio is fine. So part 1, 10 minutes, part 2, 10 minutes. If you want to stop there, you stop there. Again, the workout progresses in 10-minute increments. So this is included on my playlist of 10-minute workouts. If you want to do just a 10-minute workout, if that's why you chose this workout, because you know you want to do 10 minutes today, just do the first 10 minutes with me. If you chose this workout off of the playlist of 20-minute workouts, you can do part 1 and part 2, and then you're done. If you want to do a 30-minute workout, you can do, I would probably recommend starting with part 2 and then doing part 1 and then repeating part 2 so that you're doing the strength training in the middle, kind of bookended with cardio. But you can do it any way you want. You can do part 1, part 2, and then part 1. You can do part 1 and then do 20 minutes of jump rope. It's mix and match, and the workout progresses in 10-minute increments, so it can be as long or as short as you want it. Hopefully that covers everything. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you have a set of dumbbells or 2 that you would like to grab, go ahead and get those ready. Probably you'll want to make sure you have a mat or a towel, something that you can lie down on comfortably for our ab exercise. If you have a jump rope and you would like to jump rope with me today, go ahead and grab your jump rope. Take a minute to make sure you're good and warmed up, and when you're ready, let's go. Okay, timer is set for 2-minute intervals, 5 rounds. That's gonna be our first 10 minutes, starting with our 1-leg deadlift plus row. Got it? All right, we're gonna start right now. Watch us going. No rest interval, so as soon as you hear the timer beep, we are starting. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. I know it's a burnout, staying on 1 leg for the entire interval. Just do your best. No rest break, right down onto the mat for sit-ups. Keep the dumbbell in the same hand. Sit up and press the weight overhead. Okay, I know that's so hard. Good job. Okay, one interval of espressos, and then we'll be able to give this arm a break, okay, and this hand. Okay, drop one weight, switch the weight to the other hand, opposite the one you worked with the first two exercises. We're going back to sit-ups with an overhead press. Final interval. One leg deadlift with a row. Fight for that balance. All right, that's our first 10 minutes. If you selected this workout off of the playlist of 10-minute workouts because you are specifically looking to do 10 minutes today and only 10 minutes, then you're done. Do your bonus burpee, stretch, shower, eat some lunch, and get on with your day. Obviously, I am neither stretching nor showering nor eating. I'm continuing on. So again, this is the exact same format as what we did in the last workout. So our first 10 minutes of HIIT is done, and I have moved immediately on to our first jump rope section. So I reset my timer for 10-second rest intervals and 50-second work intervals and 10 rounds. So we're doing 10 minutes of moderate paced cardio. I know that 50 seconds is quite a long work interval for jump rope, and you might not be used to it, especially if you do my workouts regularly, because typically, and I mentioned this yesterday, but you know, or in the last workout, I should say, in case you haven't seen that one, I'll mention it again. Almost always, definitely way more often than not, when I do jump rope, I'm on 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. So that with each minute of jump rope, I'm only actually skipping for 40 seconds. And I have a full 20 seconds to rest. So it might not sound like it would make much of a difference being on 10 seconds rest and 50 seconds of work, as opposed to 10 seconds of rest and 20 seconds of work. But I'm cutting my amount of time that I have to rest in half with each work interval. So it actually does make a big difference. I find 50-second work intervals for jump rope quite challenging. So you can on doing. If you're really good at jump rope, I'm sure it won't be a problem. If you struggle with jump rope, like I do, it might be a challenge for you, but you know, if you feel like challenging yourself with the longer work intervals, then you know, you can just skip with me. If these 50-second work intervals are too long for you, you can just set your timer differently. So you could try 15 seconds of rest and 45 seconds of work times 10 rounds to get your 10 minutes. And again, that might not seem like it would make a significant difference, but if you try it, you'll see that it does. And of course, if the 45-second work intervals are still too long, even with the longer rest interval, you can always do 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 20 rounds. That's typically how I would do 10 minutes of interval jumping. So that's fine if you want to do that. Just do whatever works for you. And as far as style, I don't know the right word, but if you see what I'm doing, I'm kind of just like jogging in place. That's like pretty much always how I jump rope. It's just what I find most comfortable, and I'm not very good at jump rope, so I just go with what's easiest for me. But any style of jump rope you want to do, any variation, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So if you're more comfortable jumping with your feet together, then you can have your feet together. If you're really good at jump rope, you can do a more challenging variation that requires a little more skill, maybe a little more coordination, like jump rope jacks or twist jumps. You can jump side to side, high knees. Any style of jump rope you want is fine, and you can mix it up too. It's just freestyle. You can do a different variation with each interval. Anything you want to do is fine. And of course, if you don't have a jump rope, then any type of cardio exercise is fine. Oh, we have only 2 intervals left. So the point is just that we're doing 10 minutes of cardio. So if you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, you can hop on one of those for 10 minutes. If you live in an apartment complex, you can go up and down the stairs for 10 minutes. You can jog around the block, maybe a mile or 2 miles, depending on how fast you run. If you want to take this workout to a local park that has a track, or if you have access to the track at your local high school, you can jog around the track for 10 minutes. This is our last work interval. So at the end of this interval, my timer is going to do a long series of beeps. So let me know that the time is up, not only for this interval, but for all of the whole 10 minutes is up. I will continue skipping until the beeping stops, but you don't have to. But just a heads up. So as soon as the timer starts beeping, that means our 10 minutes is over and you can stop anytime you want. But I'm going to keep jumping rope until the beeping stops. Okay, so there's the beep. That means our 10 minutes is up. You can stop, or you can keep going with me just another 15 seconds or so. All right. So that's 20 minutes. If you chose this workout from the 20-minute workout playlist because you wanted your workout to be exactly 20 minutes today, then you are done. Do your bonus burpee, go stretch, shower, have something to eat, and get on with your day. If you would like to continue with me, we're going to repeat part one as soon as you're ready. Here we go. Starting the timer, no rest interval, so here we go. So starting again at the top with our one leg deadlift and row. Obviously, if you need a longer break in between sections, then take it. I really want to challenge myself today to move a little bit more quickly from section to section so that it feels like one long continuous workout as opposed to 6 little 10-minute workouts. Because remember, I'm doing this whole thing 3 times. I'm doing part 1, part 2, repeating it, and then repeating it all once more. So it's going to be a total of 60 minutes. Plus however long it takes me to move from section to section. So it's the same exact format as the last workout I shared. And for that workout, it took me, I think, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 16 seconds. So I am challenging myself today to get that closer to an hour. Obviously, it's going to be more than an hour because with each skipping section, I take about an extra 15-20 seconds at the end. And even if I move quickly between the sections, okay, immediately down on the mat for our setups, we're gonna rest to an interval. I was saying that even if I move really quickly in between the sections, it's impossible not to lose a little bit of time. So the goal though for me today is to finish as close to an hour as I can. So I am really challenging myself to take little to no actual rest break in between each section. But you need to work at your own pace. So if you need a longer rest break than what I'm taking, then obviously, yeah, you're welcome to challenge yourself like I'm challenging myself today and try to really keep the rest break as short as you can. But if you need to rest, you need to rest. So You're not going to do yourself any favors pushing yourself too hard and forcing yourself to continue before your body is ready to move on. So go ahead and challenge yourself to keep the rest break as short as you can, but please make sure you're taking as long of a rest as your body needs. You want to make sure that you have enough strength and enough stamina to continue with proper form. If you are not using proper form, okay, on to espressos as quickly as you can. Okay, make sure you're switching the weight to your other hand for sit-ups. So what I had started to say at the end of the last sit-up interval was that if you are not minding your form, then at best, you are kind of wasting your time a little. Because you're out here working, but for what? If you're not performing the exercise correctly, then you are not getting the maximum benefit out of the exercise. So it doesn't really make sense to be out here just flailing around and going through the motions if you're not getting the intended benefits of the exercise. So mind your form so that you can come out of the other end of this workout stronger and more fit than you were when you started. Because you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. Okay, last interval. So making sure that you're on the opposite side as the first interval. patient with yourself. Fight for that balance. It's a lot harder at the end of the 10 minutes than it is at the start of the 10 minutes. Plus, if you're like me, I think for a lot of people, the natural inclination is to start on your stronger side. So not only are we more fatigued now, but we're on our weaker leg, most likely. So it is to be expected that you will struggle more with this interval than you did with the first interval. Be patient with yourself, do your best, focus on the movement, don't rush it, fight for that balance. But just to finish what I was saying about minding your form, so I was saying that, at best, you're wasting your time a little because you're not getting the maximum benefits out of each exercise. But at worst, you are putting yourself at risk for injury. And we don't want that. So please mind your form. And that's why I say if you need a longer rest break than what I'm taking, take as long as you need. Because you're not doing anyone any favors by continuing on before your body is ready to continue and before you're capable of doing the next section with proper form. Okay? So that was our second time through our 10 minutes of HIIT. I've already started the timer. So here we go with our next cardio section. So we did our strength training circuit once, and then we did our 10 minutes of cardio, so that was 20 minutes. Now we have just completed our second time through our strength training circuit. So we're now 30 minutes in, 30 plus minutes at this point. So that means that if you selected this workout off of my playlist of 30-minute workouts, because you specifically wanted to do a 30-minute workout today, then you can be done. Stretch, shower, eat, get on with your day. Obviously, I'm still going. My workout is not complete yet, so if you want to continue on with me, just repeating part 2, 10 minutes of moderate paced cardio. Any way you want to get that done is fine. So we covered some other things you can do besides jump rope, treadmill, exercise bike, jogging, up and down the stairs, or up and down the bleachers. If you want to take this to your local high school, if you have access to the field, if you want to stay put and you don't have an exercise bike or a treadmill, and you don't have a jump rope, just any kind of cardio exercise is fine. So again, you see how I'm kind of just jogging in place. So you can just jog in place with me. You can just pretend that you're jumping rope without actually jumping over anything. And you can do that the way I'm doing it, just kind of jogging in place. You can do it with your feet together. You can jump side to side, you can do twist jumps. Essentially, again, any style of jump rope, but just kind of going through the motions of jumping the rope without actually holding on to anything. That's fine. High knees, jumping jacks, side jump lunges, mountain climbers, toe taps, plank jacks. There's endless cardio exercises that you can do. So if you want to be on intervals with me, I think 50 seconds is kind of a long work interval when you're talking about doing 10 minutes of cardio. So I would probably recommend setting your timer for 10 seconds rest and 20 seconds of work if you're going to be doing like high knees or jumping jacks or something like that. I also would recommend probably not doing the same exercise for the whole 10 minutes. So what I would say to do is probably write yourself a little circuit of 5 exercises, 5 cardio exercises. Any of those ones I just mentioned, okay? High knees, jumping jacks, plank jacks, toe taps, mountain climbers, side jump lunges, okay? Any type of cardio exercise. Write yourself a little circuit. Choose any 5 of those if you want. And then just go through the circuit. Set your timer for 20 rounds of 10-second rest intervals, 20-second work intervals, and go through your little circuit of 5 exercises 4 times. And there's your 10 minutes of cardio. So, it doesn't matter if you're on a jump rope, or a treadmill, or an exercise bike. It doesn't matter if, you know, there's 6 feet of snow on the ground and you can't run. It's just about 10 minutes of cardio, okay? So any way you want to get that done will work. Another thing is that I know these 10 minutes can be a little tedious. It's part of the reason that I chit-chat through it. But for me, it kind of helps it to go by a little faster because it keeps my mind occupied. Not as well as music though. When I'm jumping rope for like long periods of time, not necessarily just 10 minutes, but 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I find it just unspeakably, untenably tedious to do it without music. So, I should have mentioned it before we were almost done with our second jump rope interval. I did the same thing in the last workout. I mentioned it like after we were all done, but if you're just watching me do it now and you're gonna go do it on your own later, just keep in mind that for these 10-minute jump rope sections with these long work intervals, it might be advisable to have some music playing in the background just to make it a little more enjoyable make it far less tedious and just kind of help the time pass by a little faster. I don't play music if I'm making a video that I'm going to share to YouTube, because if I use copyrighted music in the video, sometimes it's a problem, even though I'm not making any money from this. I'm not benefiting financially in any way from these videos. And if someone was looking to like listen to one of the songs, the last thing they would want to hear is my jump rope over the song the whole time. So I'm very much in favor of, you know, artists getting paid if someone is using their material, but I just think it's kind of funny when I get a copyright strike for a video like this, where clearly there's no conceivable way I would benefit off of the music that's playing in the background. But I don't want a copyright strike, so I don't play music. And plus, if you're doing a workout with me and you hate my taste in music, I don't want to subject you to that. So it's advisable to get a playlist together of songs that you like, upbeat stuff that makes you happy and want to move, and get that ready for these jump rope sections. This is our final interval, so again, the timer's going to start beeping. As soon as you hear the beeping start, that means our 10 minutes is over. So you can stop skipping right now. I'm going to keep going for just an extra 15 seconds or so. I'm going to keep going until the beeping stops. The beeping has stopped. So there we go. All right. That's twice through. That's 40 minutes. 40 minutes is a good workout. If you're done, you're done. I'm gonna do the whole thing, both sections, one more time, keeping my rest break as short as possible. So here we go. Starting again with part one. I think that when this whole thing is over, I might just do 3 more intervals of this exercise on my weaker leg. Because even though I am not keeping track of my reps, I'm certain that at the end of the day, I will have completed more reps on this side than on the other. You guys, we're over 40 minutes in, so please be patient with yourself. I am trying very hard to be patient with myself. I'm a little frustrated because I'm struggling with my balance, and not all of these reps are as clean as I know I can make them. But it's a long workout. These are long work intervals, and this is our 3rd time through, so absolutely understandable if it is getting more challenging. No rest break, right down to the mat for sit-ups. the start of this work interval. This weight feels not so heavy, not light necessarily, but not so heavy, but by about halfway through it starts to feel incredibly heavy. Sit-up interval. Make sure that you're switching sides with your dumbbell. Or your kettlebell, or whatever weight you're using. What I started to say, it's too hard to talk through the espressos. So I did this in the last round too. In the middle of a thought, at the end of the first sit-up interval, and then I have to like hold on to it through the espressos. Finish it up during the final sit-up interval. So, to finish up that thought, I was saying that for the first like half of the interval, the weight does not feel heavy. By about the halfway point, for me, anyway, it starts to feel incredibly heavy. So keep in mind, try your buzz is so loud, and it does that long like 10-minute buzz. Eventually I'll finish this thought. What I'm trying to say is keep in mind that you can always drop down. So if you started with a heavier dumbbell, all right, final interval. So one leg deadlift plus row. So just keep in mind that if you started with a heavier dumbbell, if you have a lighter set that you can keep handy, it's a good idea to have those next to you so that if the weight you started with gets too heavy and the exercise is just too challenging with the heavier weight, or you feel like you might drop it, or you feel like your arm's gonna fail and you won't be able to press the weight up overhead, you can always just put the heavier weight down, grab a lighter dumbbell, and continue just with a lighter weight, okay? Especially this third time through the circuit. Just fighting for that balance. Not always coming out victorious, but I'm fighting for it. Do your best. That's all you can do. All right, that's our 10 minutes, but I really want to get one more rep in there because I was struggling so much towards the end there. All right. We have been going for 50 plus minutes. We have just 10 minutes remaining. Let's finish up with one more cardio section. So grab your jump rope. If you are jumping rope with me, timer's already going. This is our 10-second rest interval. Here we go, 50 seconds of jump rope. Any style you want. It's another thing. I mentioned earlier that jump rope is not my forte. I jump rope almost every day, and I'm a lot better at it than I used to be. That's for sure. And I have good days and bad days. Certainly some days are better than others. Some days I'm tripping very little over my jump rope, or even not at all. Those days are rare. But I think in my life I've had 1 or 2 days where I didn't trip, not even one time over my jump rope. Other days, it's like I'm tripping every 5 reps. And it can get quite frustrating. Because obviously that's not the goal. The goal is to jump over the rope, not to trip on it. So naturally, I find it frustrating when I am failing to do the thing I'm trying to do, which is jumping over the rope. So, of course it's frustrating, but it really doesn't do any good to let that frustration take over your mood, because it's just going to sabotage the rest of your workout if you really kind of allow yourself to wallow in that frustration. I'm not saying to ignore it or even stifle it. I would never tell you that your frustration isn't natural and normal and understandable and valid. I don't think you have to pretend you're not feeling it. I don't think you have to, what's the word? Like, be in denial. I'm really not a fan of when people advocate just kind of avoiding any and all negative emotions, or like pretending that they don't exist, or like making you feel like you're doing something wrong by feeling them. Negative emotions are valid. They're just as natural and normal and valid as positive emotions. So I'm definitely not saying don't get frustrated. When you're trying to do something and failing, of course you're going to be frustrated. What I am saying is that if I allow myself to just, kind of let that frustration dictate my mood for the rest of the workout, it's only going to be detrimental. I'm only going to start tripping more, and it's going to snowball. So, I really try to just take a breath and pick up where I left off. And know that even if I'm tripping, it's okay because I'm still out here. I'm still doing the work. I'm still getting my heart rate up. I'm doing the best I can. Some days that's better than others. But I'm out here burning calories and putting in the work and doing my best. So that just has to be good enough. Because if it's not, what am I even doing? Why am I bothering? So, absolutely understandable. I also do really try to give myself a little bit more leeway. Show myself a little bit more grace at this point in the workout because this is our 6th long, tough, HIIT style workout in a row this week. This is an unusual week. Usually I post 3 new workouts a week. Usually like either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's the schedule I've been on for the last several months. But this week, this is my 6th workout that I'm sharing in a row. Sundays are always my rest days, but Monday through Saturday of this week, I posted a new workout every day. So it's the end of a long week of long, tough workouts. And this is another long workout. An hour is, it's a good workout. So obviously, on the 6th day in a row of long, tough workouts, and in the last few minutes of an hour-long workout, I think, again, it's perfectly understandable that fatigue is going to start to set in. My legs are tired. My arms are tired. My brain is tired. It makes the coordination required to jump over the rope more difficult. it just makes it tired to get my feet up or it makes it hard to get my feet up because I'm just tired. So towards the end of the workout, even if I'm having a good day with my jump rope, and even if I haven't been tripping, I kind of anticipate that towards the end of a long workout, I'm going to start tripping over my jump rope. So, especially at this point in the workout, I really try to just give myself some grace. At the end of the day, you guys, it's just jump rope. It's not that important. Like I said, we're out here doing the work. If tripping over your jump rope a few times or a few dozen times is the worst thing that happens to you today, then I guess just be grateful. So we have reached our final interval. So again, in a few seconds, the timer is going to start doing that long series of beeps. When the beeping starts, that means our 10 minutes is up. And that means you can stop jumping rope if you want. I will continue for an extra 15 seconds or so. Okay, there's the beep. You can stop at any time. I'm gonna keep going until the beeping has stopped. It's just a thing I like to do. Finishing strong, and we're done. 1 hour and 3 minutes and 34 seconds. So, more than 4 minutes faster than yesterday. I'm thrilled with that. I was hoping to do 104, and I was faster than that. My watch is still going because we're not quite done yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. But before I get to my bonus burpee, when I do a jump rope workout, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 skips, meaning 100 revolutions of the jump rope. So if you would like to join me for one more little bonus set of jump rope before we do our bonus burpee, here we go. We're just gonna count 100 revolutions of the rope. So count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that's our bonus set of jump rope. And now we have just one final rep left to go. Let's do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So now I'm stopping my watch. So all together, from the very first rep until my bonus burpee, took me a grand total of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 36 seconds. And according to my watch, I burned a total of 459 active calories, 554 total calories, and maintained an average heart rate of 152 beats per minute. So if you wear your watch while you do the workouts, please let me know how long it took you and share your stats with me. Let me know how many calories you burned and what was your average heart rate. So if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And if you're not doing workouts with me, but you're just watching the videos, thank you. I appreciate that as well. Please keep watching. Please feel free to share. Thank you for all of the likes and the wonderful, supportive, and engaging comments. I appreciate you all so very much, and especially those of you who have been commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I wrap things up, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is, good day, sir. I said good day, sir. So if you are still watching this video, hi, thank you. And please let me know someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, good day, sir. I said good day, sir. And one last time, as always, if anything is unclear, if you have questions about the exercises we were doing today, about the format, if you need to see equipment-free modifications or beginner modifications, I am right here. I'm always more than happy to help in any way I can. It's very important to me that the workouts are accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, so I am always happy to facilitate that in any way I can. So if you need help with modifications or if you have questions, please just ask. That is it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.